not only have Leeds done it, there's still 2 games to go, mate. This is take about Leeds, take about Daniel Farke. Superb.
It's just such a, I was saying this last night, but it's such a likeable team. If you guys are on it from the last time we got relegated, and there was like Wes McKennie, who got a lot of flack. There was sort of Tyler Adams in there, who we kind of knew was going to go at the end of the season. Then, you know, he threatened to sue Leeds and all this sort of stuff in the summer, and it was just a bit chaotic when it came to him. There was Robin Koch, Llorente, Christensen, Meslier. It just wasn't a very likeable squad. And it always felt that Leeds were very sort of vulnerable. Was that down to player quality? 100%, but it felt like the mentality wasn't really strong enough and they wouldn't really die for the shirt. And I know these are intangibles, but they do contribute to Premier League survival 100%. And it just feels there's such a connection with Leeds fans and that team now. You know, last night, as we are recording, Leeds went to Spurs and it was all on the line. Leeds had key personnel out. You know, Bogle out, Goodmanson, inform Okafor, Pascal went off injured, and it's a lot that for a newly promoted side. And with 3 players come out and you've got Dan James at right wing back, it's a real struggle. You know, it's not like Tottenham having 3 or 4 players out. When Leeds have that, we really desperately notice it. And for us to be able to, you know, get through that and be quite unlucky not to win down at Tottenham, it feels like it's been symbolic of the whole season, really. There was just a never say die attitude, whatever the circumstance with this Leeds United side. So we can talk about the recruitment, we can talk about the fans been exceptional again this season. But I tell you what, boys, on the pitch, you've got to give credit to Daniel Farke. I've never disputed that he's a good coach. I thought he should have adjusted earlier. He then did adjust, and from that point onwards, I mean, we're 7th in the Premier League when it comes to the form. It's been staggering, really. And I was getting a bit vexed by Tottenham fans writing us off for this game. Oh, Leeds is a win. It's a win. It's a win. I knew we'd turn up last night because that's what we've been doing all season.
To the Spurs fans, Con, I thought the mentality might be, because you do just ease up, don't you? Do you know what I mean? When your race is run and it's all done. So as much as Tottenham fans can be disagreeable at times, I can see where they were coming from, can't you?
Yeah, I can see it from a sort of level of, you know, we've got more to play for, but it almost felt like, you know, it's Leeds at home. It's a newly promoted side. You know, they're coming down. Like, it just felt there was a lot more conversation around, like, you know, we're a better team than Leeds. You know, we should be putting Leeds to the sword. And obviously, there's that contributor, like you've just said, Ben. They should be on the beach. But that's what I'm saying. There's the crux of this Leeds team now is that whatever the circumstance, like I think West Ham naturally might think at the last day of the season Leeds are going to go down there and I don't know, maybe fluff it up and give them maybe a victory. It's just not going to happen. It's just not the standard that this team has set all season. So whether we play is going to be extremely difficult. So yeah, mate, unbelievable season.
What are the next steps? What are the things that because you know, you stay up one season and then immediately everyone starts talking about the difficult second album, and what's the play? What's the recruitment? How do you do it again?
It's got to be, and obviously you add to this, mate, but I think when you look maybe last night at Leeds, and it was probably the key bit, Ben, where I've looked at us and thought, oh, their key personnel out there. And if that continues to happen, we had 2 kids on the bench and it felt very reminiscent of Leeds last time out, Ben, when it was like we were going down, we'd have Joe Gelhardt, McKinstry, McCarran, Charlie Cresswell on the bench, and there's no sort of Premier League appearances really between them. And the depth was a little bit of an issue. And you saw last night when we had 3 or 4 key positions out, Leeds sort of struggled to fill that bench and fill it with quality, really. That's the key thing they've got to attack in the window, in my opinion, anyway. And the left wing back, I'd say, you've got to have inflated cover. It can't just be James Justin covering both sides. I'd say they've got to go forward, haven't they, Ben? They've got to get some attacking presence. They've been very lucky when it comes to Okafor, DCL, and Metch staying away from injuries. Is that going to happen next season?
How old's Okafor?
Okafor's 27.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's just, you don't want to bank on it, do you, Ben? You want security. You want to be able, and it's risk, of course it is, but you've got to kind of look at it and think to yourself, they're the key positions, really. I mean, when you're looking at Leeds, mate, what do you think? Do you think there's sort of an element of what they need to do next season? Is it defensively? Is it going forward? Is it all across? Because, Ben, I'll be honest with you, you look at the players out on loan, Ramazani, Joe Gelhardt, Matteo Joseph, who's picked up an injury, Jack Harrison, goodness me, still there, players like that. that who are obviously probably going to move on. Then you look at Alai Gruev, maybe is Pascal Strout going to move on for PSR perspective? What's going to happen with Al Tanaka? Then you look at Joel Peru, then you look at Sam Byram and all these players. There's going to be a lot of exits at Leeds this window. So, Ben, talk about how important it is, mate, in the second season to get it right in the Premier League. It's imperative, isn't it?
Yeah, and I honestly, I don't like what you're describing there, because what you don't want is a mental window with, 20 players going out and 20 players coming in. You want that kind of stability. I don't know if you agree. What I see is a good first 11 that's got a bit of siege mentality, but you now need to, as much, it's ruthless, isn't it? But you need new, better first team players to move you now a couple of places higher up. So what I'm saying is, if you just ride that 11 out next season, I think it's potentially a lower finish than this season. So it's ruthless, isn't it? But you now move into that. Everyone says it, don't they? Get out of the parachute kind of paradigm, the purgatory. Get into the second season of Premier League TV money, and away you go if competence is happening.
100%. I mean, Matt, it's interesting. I'm going to involve your clubs as well when it comes to Ipswich and Cov. I think there's probably a general look at the teams coming up from a lot of the Premier League sides. I've heard, Tottenham fans say it. I've heard West Ham fans say it. Leeds fans have been saying it as well. And maybe Wolves and Burnley when they were in it right at the very beginning. The runaway train that has been Coventry City. Ipswich's slightly patchy season. I don't know why it's not patchy. Ipswich have bloody got up in the top two, but I don't know. There's been periods of out of form Ipswich Town, hasn't they? And maybe not as ruthless as last time out. And maybe Hull or Southampton or Middlesbrough coming up. It feels like this is a big opportunity to remain in the Premier League, because is it maybe harsh to say that we think that the Premier League is going to be significantly weaker next season?
Yeah, potentially. It sort of depends on who goes down out of Spurs and West Ham, because I envisage, for what it's worth, that if West Ham do scrape survival this year, they might be in the battle again next year. Whereas you'd like to think if Spurs stay up, they should be not finishing 17th again next year. But obviously this is 2 seasons running now. And then, you draw the comparisons between the Championship this year and last year, where you had Leeds and Burnley smashing out 100 points each. Sheffield United on 92 didn't go up. And obviously the points total for top 2 this year hasn't been the same. So, I mean, as a Coventry fan, I'm nervous. But just got to focus on ourselves. I suppose that's what Leeds and Sunderland have done, and that's what you've got to give them credit for. A word on Leeds, Con. I think if you go back to the start of this season, how we framed it is you've got to finish ahead of the 2 you've come up with and then just hope there's a calamity. And I did have that as my prediction. I think I had Leeds 17th and Wolves maybe being 18th. But what we didn't expect is Sunderland to be so strong, and Leeds have had to go past 2 established Premier League teams. And let's not forget, they've been established Premier League teams for a few years now, because we've had the teams that have been going up coming straight back down, which makes them stronger. So, I mean, obviously a capitulation at Wolves. West Ham had a poor start to the season, and Leeds have done really well to get through it. So looking at it as a Coventry fan, you've got to try and frame it the same way. Can we stay ahead of Ipswich and whoever comes up, and then maybe catch someone else? But it's going to be so hard. You're right.
Yeah, and you look at that and the teams in and around there, Tottenham, West Ham, Palace now below Leeds, Newcastle like a point or 2 ahead of Leeds. And you do look at that, and maybe next season there might be a few other teams in the mix as well.